Hello, everybody. I'm going to wait till a few people get in the room, and then we can get started. I know it's late, everybody. Well, at least it is here in the eastern part of the country, not so much on the West Coast and other parts of the world, although in many places it is the middle of the night. So, okay, one person made it in, so at least I know I made it public. Hi. Hello. Not sure who's in yet, but I have to tell you, well, let me wait for a few more people to get in, if they do. Could be that I'm just coming on too late. Hi, guys. I come to you fresh from my first meditation in the latest Deepak Chopra and Oprah meditation challenge, the 21-day meditation that they give us for free to do, and it's wonderful. Each meditation, as it becomes available, today was day one, and each one of them is available for a period of, I believe it's 5 days, might be a little less, but I think it's 5 days. So you can do it anytime during that period, and you can, if you need to play catch up, you can do a few of them in one day. I've been doing these for years, and I absolutely love them. It's made a tremendous difference for me in so many ways. I also have bought a lot of them so that I can redo them as I need to. It is such an incredibly centering thing. For those of you who have done meditation in the past, you know what it's like. For those of you who have not, it can be such a wonderful experience. It's not easy to start meditating when you're doing it for the first time, because every time you try to not take in all the things of the world, hi, Sunny, hi, Valley, aw, thanks a lot. Well, I'm glad that you stopped by. Um, it's very hard to let the things of the world kind of out of your consciousness. And what happens is, as we try to not think of things, other things fill their place, because the mind is not a vacuum and things just want to occupy the space. But you can learn. It's kind of like learning to remember your dreams, and I remember my dreams more often than not because I was trained to do it from an early age. So it's something that is easier for me. I had a very interesting experience with tonight's meditation. He gave an overview of what this wanted to accomplish for people, and then, of course, he goes into the meditation, which is only about a 10-minute actual meditation each day. And I find for me, I see different things and I experience it very differently. And if you decide that you want to do this, oh my goodness, did everybody leave? I only see one person left. What happened? Yeah, it really is. It is interesting, and it really can make such a huge, huge difference in your life. I recommend that if anybody does decide to do it, that you do. They have a journal, and they ask you a few questions. Oh, good. I don't know what happened. It was showing, I think, about 10 or 12 people, and now it's only showing me one. So I don't know what's going on with this. So either people didn't like the subject and left, or my numbers are off. In any case, I start to see, oh, hi, how are you? I start to see visions of things. I always have. And I often, in my meditations, feel as if I'm floating very gently backward on water. And I was in that kind of a mindset or feeling tonight when I went into the meditation. It was as if I was on the water. I could see the banks of whatever this body of water was, and there were mountains in the background. And then that started to fade away, and I still was on water. But then all of a sudden, I felt as if I was lying there, and there was something above me, almost like a metal kind of structure that started to open, and I could see the night sky with thousands and thousands of stars. And I felt somehow that there was knowledge there that was to be imparted if one were only open enough to receive it. So that was how it started for me. And I find what I do is I will then go into the journal and I will answer the questions that they ask on any given day, and then I write my thoughts about what I have seen and felt during the meditation. Because if you're going to do it for 21 days, writing down your experience of each one as you go along can be very helpful, and you can see how it can expand your consciousness as you move along on that process. So again, for me, it's just wonderful. It's something that I have enjoyed for a very long time. I have had healings occur during meditation that have been nothing short of miraculous in my world. And I have shared them before, and I certainly can share them again as time goes by. But I think, again, for anybody who's feeling any kind of stress in their lives, or as if they want more from the place they are in their lives at the moment, that meditation is a great way to go. So if you choose to do that, by all means do, and we can talk about it as I come on here during the process, and we can see how we all feel about it, and what we feel it's given to us or helped us to achieve. I also want to talk to you about my Lord, the last several days have been so crazy busy in my world. I went Friday afternoon, I went out for lunch and then went to see a movie. And we had been talking about movies recently, and I saw Motherless Brooklyn. It's a film I would absolutely recommend that you see. It's a kind of a mystery. It was a little bit slow going for me in the beginning of the movie. Ed Norton was wonderful in it. They all were, actually. It was very well acted. The Bruce Willis has a kind of a cameo role in it, and yeah, I thought it was really good. Probably was about 2 hours and 20 minutes, I want to say. I find that movies lately have gotten longer than they were for a long time, and I'm not exactly sure why they're doing that. But a lot of them seem to be 2 hours and over, where for a long time they were not that. If you are here with me, can you just say something in the chat just to let me know you're here? Because it's showing me there are only two people here. So I don't know if that's the case or if more of you, oh, now it's showing one again. So again, either people are, oh, okay, Denise. I don't know. I don't know if Myra's still here. Valley's still here. Okay. Oh, okay. Hi. Nice to see you. Um, all right. I don't know why it's showing 20. It's showing me 1. Okay, so my phone is going screwy again. Um, I did something else really. Hi, Grace. Nice to see you. Welcome. In your part of Colorado, has it been snowing? I saw Marla's pictures from Boulder where there was snow all over the ground. I am so not ready for that yet. I am just so not ready for it. Oh, hi. Oh, thanks, Lita. I'm really happy to see you here. I hope all is going well with you and that your world continues to be good. Yeah, I don't wear red very often, but when I do like it. It's a little strong for me. It's not typically what I do. Um, Saturday night, it was interesting because we did something a little bit different. We went to dinner with a group of people. What brand and color is my lipstick? My lipstick is a combination of three or four things. I have, oh, thanks. Thanks a lot. I'm really enjoying it. It's all the old stuff. It's stuff I talk to you about all the time. There is nothing new for a number of reasons. Number one, I'm not spending money foolishly these days on anything. And number two, I love what I have, so there's no reason to make any changes. The lipstick, the lip liner is Miraness, and it's a double-sided liner. This one had two shades of red. One is a little bit darker, one is a little bit brighter. I used that. I had the Laura Geller um, Love Me Do lip pencil. I think it's something mango, but I will check it out, and I will try to remember to put it in the show more section of this. Probably not later tonight, probably not till tomorrow, but I'll try to put that in. And then in the center, I just use that little bit of goldy kind of color to give me that sun-kissed kind of look that I do. That I think because my lips are big, I just, yeah, thanks, Sunny. I just feel like I need a little bit of something to make it different. Um, my skin is hydrated. Once again, it's the Peter Thomas Roth Water Drench. I love it like I have loved no other product um, in terms of a moisturizer. I'm extremely happy with it. I'm still using the Tatcha. It's the Tatcha firming. I think I already have that in the notes below. It's a firming serum. You use the tiniest drop of it. It smells wonderful and it's terrific. I'm not using the under eye hydrator that I've been using for years, which is the MSM, only because I happen to have an open one of the Tatcha, and I've been using that, but it seems to be working well for me. Anyway, in terms of the eye makeup, the palette that I used, I found a palette that I had, and I'll show it to you next time. It is ColourPop, and it's not a huge palette. It's gold cover. It's maybe this big, and I don't remember how many different shadow colors are in it. Maybe there are 15-ish, I'm not sure. And what I did was I used a very light color. I don't use powder on my face. I don't. Oh, and I didn't put my highlighter on today. I forgot. I typically will put that little bit of highlight again for the look of hydration, even though it is not that. I am using for the line of demarcation to give me the look, the contour. Right now I'm using, it's an old product that I've had for a long, long time. It's NARS, and I think, I don't want to say for sure, it's a very dark color. I don't think it's Palm Beach. I don't remember. I will check it out and I'll make sure that that's below as well. The rest of it is butter bronzer. Oh, here we go. Yes. Has my body fat migrated? Things definite. Laguna. That's it, Valley. Laguna. Yes. Um, okay, back to Saturday evening dinner. Yes. Oh, thank you so much. I'm so glad you were here to do my housekeeping for me. That is the last thing I need tonight. I'm really tired. Um, yeah, we went out to dinner with a group of people on Saturday night, and instead of doing, oh, here we go again. Uh, Instead of, I'm hoping that you can catch this one for me, Sheila. Thanks. Instead of going to a movie or doing anything like that on Saturday night, we went with a group of people to dinner, and we went to a Persian restaurant. And I have to tell you, I really, really loved it. I have never been to a Persian restaurant before. So, okay, this has got to stop. Okay. I am hoping that that makes a difference. Okay. So, uh, we were told we were going to a meeting at a Panera Bread in Huntington, and we were told that the restaurant was a few doors away. So we parked in this large parking lot behind the place, and he said, "Let's park here. It's right near Panera. It's going to be great." Well, it was terrific for that, but we couldn't find the restaurant. So we got there on time, but we kept walking back and forth through this long parking lot, and my leg was bothering me. It's really, I've been having pain in it a lot more because I've been doing so much more, and I have not been going to the gym and doing that. So while I am getting a lot done and I am grateful for everything, I do have the pain more often. So after walking the long distance back and forth and not finding the restaurant anywhere, I was about to say, let's just go to Panera Bread and eat there. I don't care. But then he said, maybe there is no entrance to the restaurant at the back. So we walked around to the front, but we walked in the wrong direction. So to make a long story short, it took us 20 minutes to find the restaurant. He found it interesting that nobody called us to say, hey, where are you? By the time we got in there, they had a big table. There were six of us. But they had already ordered their food, and their food arrived when we got there, and we first had to order. The place was mobbed. There was a long line of people waiting, which is always a great sign because it's a great indication that the food is good. And it was cacophonous in there. You could not hear yourself think, let alone hear what anybody across the table was saying. And it took forever for them to bring the food out. Would I go back there again? In a heartbeat. The food was fabulous. It was absolutely delicious. I don't remember if I took the picture of it here. It is on this one. This is what my plate looked like. I ordered salmon, which is something I do often, and they had, I guess it's grilled or I don't know, maybe broiled tomato and onion and wonderful rice. It was very delicate, very tasty, very wonderful. A couple of the other people at the table got lentil soup that was it appeared to be a very pureed soup, looked wonderful. They said it was delicious. And they ordered something that had a looked like Chinese, not wontons, but some kind of a stuffed, I don't know what they call it, but they said it was delicious. And one of the gals there had a big chopped salad, and another one had a huge plate of all these different kinds of rice. I thought it was rice and red cabbage shredded because the color of it was like red cabbage, but it was all different kinds of rice, and she loved hers. So it was really quite good. The issue that we had was that because they got served so much earlier than we did, and the meeting was to be at 7:30, and we didn't get in there till 20 after 6. because of all the delay in getting into the restaurant, they finished long before us. So they wound up leaving us at this big round table where there were only two of us sitting, and the people standing in that long queue waiting for tables must have wondered how the heck we got a table for six when when there were two of us. But it was worthwhile. Then we went into Panera Bread and they had this meeting, and it was something I've never done before, but I thought it might be interesting. And it was. It started out where people were talking about things that were of interest to them. There were maybe 18 people in the group, plus the group leader. And they started out talking about, I don't know, they were talking about a Roe versus Wade a bit. They were talking about women and Planned Parenthood and and children and the system, and then they started talking about Trump, and then they started talking about other things. It was all in all a very interesting evening. It was something I would definitely do again. I found it um, fascinating. Toward the end of it, there was a guy at the other end of the room who, I don't remember what brought it up, but he mentioned that he had had a near death experience many, many, many years ago, and that his life has completely changed as a result of it, and that he has written three books on the subject. So a lot of people there were poo-pooing it. These were all older people, and a lot of people are very set in their belief system and not open to things that they don't have their own firsthand knowledge of. And it's a hard concept for a lot of people because if you haven't experienced something, and it's not something we experience per se with our five senses, but if you've had an experience of anything like this, as I have in my life, you know it's real. For those who haven't, they believe it's not real, and they try to ascribe all kinds of other phenomena to it. That your brain, it's the endorphins, and it's your brain activity after your heart stops beating, and it's blah 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 blah, which a lot of physicians, a lot of scientific people have tried to prove for many, 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 many years, and there have been many books written on the subject, and it's very interesting. What I found amazing was that people were trying to convince him that his experience was not real. And there was one guy who was really annoyed because he said that he had a near death experience also, and that he saw absolutely nothing. It was black. Therefore, there was nothing, and when you died, there was nothing. That was the end of it. So at that point, he was getting us to raise our hands because people started talking over each other, and he said, we can't have that. So I raised my hand and I said to this guy, I said, if your experience proved to you that there is nothing because that's what you experienced, why would you negate this man's experience because he experienced something totally different? If you think your experience was valid, why was his not valid? So we kind of had that kind of a thing. But I found it extremely interesting. I took the guy's card, the one who had written the books. I'm curious to look it up because I'd like to investigate it further. I have read much on the subject, and my own experience personally when my father died has me, with my own knowing about all of that. So it was an interesting evening. It was wonderful, and it was different. And one of the things that it kind of teaches me over and over again is that we really have to expand our horizons, especially as we get older, because it's so easy to get caught up in the rut that we're in, or in the small circle that we're in, or sometimes we make it smaller and smaller, and we stay more and more isolated, and we do ourselves such a disservice. Somebody had made a recommendation to me quite a long time ago, not, well, quite a while ago. I think it was about the time that I decided that I was going to try the online dating thing, and that I was going to try to get involved in things outside of myself, because was going through such a depressing time in my life. And somebody had recommended looking into meetups. Well, I did, and I went to my first meetup meeting. Um, Today's Monday, right? I went yesterday, and I couldn't come on last night because I was so tired from the whole weekend that I fell asleep at 8:30 last night, and I woke up at like 1 o'clock in the morning, and then rapidly went back to sleeping sickness. I mean, I'm really, really tired. I have to remember every now and then that I'm not as young as I like to think I am, and there are things that I probably should not be doing at this time in my life to, spend so much time, in pursuing all kinds of active things. But the meeting that I went to was on Sunday, and I really wasn't sure I was going to do it because I was very tired in the morning. And I had pretty much actually decided not to go, even though I had signed up. But at the last minute, I said, I'm going to go. And it was back in that same Panera Bread in Huntington that the other meeting was in. Now, when I went to the other one, I didn't drive, but it seemed like it was such a convoluted route that the GPS took us on. It was going through all this rural kind of countryside feeling, which is not all that prevalent in my neck of the woods. True, this is a half hour to 40 minutes away from me, but still. So when I had to think about driving myself back there on Sunday, it was, should I do this? Am I going to be able to do it? And I should mention, it was a meetup of writers. And there were 19 people in the group, and the meeting was a 5-hour meeting. And I thought to myself, can I survive a 5-hour meeting? But I have to tell you, it was one of the most wonderful, energizing things I have done for myself in a very, very long time. And I sat through. What the people do there is they bring things that they're working on, and they read it to the group, and they make copies of it to hand out so that people can critique it, because these are writers critiquing other writers and giving them some suggestions about ways to make their work even better, or giving them thoughts about the characters and all of that. So I found it fascinating. There were people there with all different styles of writing. There were 4 or 5 that wrote poetry, but all the rest were writing prose. And some of the writing I thought was incredible. It was all good, but some of it I thought was absolutely incredible. And I found myself a little bit reluctant to even read mine. Now, I didn't bring anything with copies because, number one, I signed up for it the day before, and number two, I'd never been to one before, so I wasn't sure what was the general way that they went about it. But I think it's a very good way to do it, so I will certainly do it next time. They have these meetings twice a month. I can't wait to go to the next one. I can't wait to write some more. And I was the second to the last to read my it was part of a short story. Excuse me. was part of a short story that I wrote, and I will at some point read it for you if you like, so that you can get a kind of idea about it. But I love to write, and I find when I do write, I feel as if once I start writing a character, that character takes on a life of his or her own. They were talking to me about mine, and they said some really lovely things about my writing, and I was happy. I was a little nervous about it because having heard their work, I wasn't sure how they would feel about mine. But one of the things that they said was they felt that my characters were so well developed that they could really see them. They knew who they were, and they had a feeling that they knew what the characters were capable of and where they might go, where the story might take them. And at one point, one of them asked me where I thought the characters might go from there. And I said, that's the interesting thing about writing for me. And it's been this way for me always when I write. Once I start writing it, I don't know where the characters are going. I feel as if they take me on a ride. I feel as if I put my hands on the keyboard and the characters just take me along for the ride. I don't know where it's going, but I know them and I feel them and I see them. So it's an interesting thing for me, and I am determined to go back to my writing very seriously and to do something with it. I'm not sure what yet, but I was excited at the prospect. So it was something fun and new and quite wonderful for me. There is another meetup I want to do. I had wanted to do it last week, but I could not because I had agreed to meet this woman whose house we had sold and we had dinner that night. But it's that meetup is about the laws of attraction, and I am a firm believer in the laws of attraction. We can attract to us that which we want in life or that which we don't want in life. And we do it by what we focus on. Whether we focus on things that are positive or negative, those are what we draw to us. So you need to be really careful about the thoughts that form and that you let develop in you. And I've been guilty of this a lot myself. I know about it. I should know better, but we get bogged down in the nitty gritty of life. And when life is tough, it's really hard to extricate yourself from the difficulty and rise above it. And once again, I find and I go back to those motivational quotes every day because I feel as if they often just plant my foot on the right path for that moment, for that day, for whatever the next thing is for me. And I find it really helpful. So I'm hoping that some of this is meaningful uh, for some of you, and I hope that it helps if any of you are going through any particularly difficult times or anything like that. So now that I have talked your ear off, tell me what's happening with all of you. Hi, how are you? I'm glad you came in. I have been talking everybody's ear off for 33 minutes and 58 seconds, which is unusual in these chats because I always like to make you a part of it. So please let me know what's happening with everybody and how life is treating you at the moment. Because I'm kind of talked out for this little bit of time. You still here, guys? Yeah, it's definitely it's been a little bit intense tonight, so I hope that was okay for all of you, but I wanted to share everything that's been going on for me. Yeah, I don't know what is going screwy with me with my with both the chat and the numbers because the numbers are not showing me any true picture of what's going on here tonight. So I have to apologize. I need to, oh, thanks. Oh, you would be interested in hearing the story? Okay. So I think I'll do that next time because I think it might be too much for this one. Yeah, I think it's going to be too much for this one. And I am just a little bit more than a little bit tired. Uh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's a story that I really enjoy doing. I'm going to try to do a little bit more with it so that I have it ready. The good thing about the meetings is that if they are every other week, and I have to produce something for every other week for them to read to them and for them to critique, then it kind of forces me to sit down and be seriously involved in it. And it's very interesting, and I don't know if any of you write or ever have, but there are times when I can sit down and pages will come through me. I know the time change was very difficult for me. It did not help me one itty bitty iota. As the saying goes, yeah, and it came at a particularly interesting time because with all of this going on and my not getting enough sleep, it really wreaked havoc on me. So yeah, I think I'm going to need days to get back to normal. I suspect, but yeah. So anyway, what I started to say about the writing is that I find there are times when I sit down and I can write pages easily without really even thinking much. And there are days that I can sit there and I cannot write a cohesive sentence, writer's block. So I hear that they also deal with all of those things. And I'm very curious also to hear about their experiences with trying to publish things that they've done. So I look forward to the next meeting. A 5 hour meeting is tough. Oh, please do, Grace. It's wonderful, wonderful. Yes. And I love that he does this and he does it on a regular basis. So there are many, many meditations that you can make um, part of your life, and it's just really special. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to share my experience of it. If any of you do decide to do it and you want to share your experience of it, great. We can do it here, or we can create a group, or within the group on Facebook, we can do it however it works for the group as a group is good for me. I know I really have to spend more time on the Facebook page, but my life has been really, really busy lately, and a lot of it has been tough busy with the stuff that I've had to do in the house. It's a lot of hard work. It's a lot of tedious, grinding kind of stuff. But I'm doing whatever it is that I have to do, and it's time to kind of take it to the next step and the next level, and we'll see where that one takes me. And I don't know, I have no idea. This is a roller coaster ride that I'm on, and I'm taking you with me. So I hope you enjoy the ride, at least the good parts of it. And I think that's about it from here. I think I'm going to end it a little bit early tonight because I've been walking around all day today feeling like I have sleeping sickness. I really do. It's been really interesting times for me, and I'm also investigating other meetup groups. Oh, okay, great. I am going to plan. Well, I'm not sure. I think. Oh, you too, Valley. Wednesday, I think it's Wednesday. I am going to be, I may be doing a live on Wednesday during the day because I'm going to be seeing Bella and Gail on Wednesday, I believe. I'm going to be picking them up and taking them out. We're all going to be going out to lunch, and that should be wonderful fun. And I think maybe we will do a live if the girls are in the mood for that. And I suspect they'll be game for it. And we'll see where it takes us. I was planning on taking them to this absolutely wonderful restaurant that I've adored for years here that is a nice quiet place. They have wonderful food, and you can sit there for hours with nobody bothering you. The problem is, I went there during the week, and they have now closed. So it broke my heart because it was the perfect place to go, and they are no longer. Apparently, she tried to hang on the owner for a very long time, and I gather she finally couldn't make it, and that kind of breaks my heart for her because she tried so hard. It's now only open for events and for um, they do catering. So, I mean, that's not a terrible thing either to have something catered by them, I'm sure. But I'm going to have to find some other place to go, but I think that that should be fun. So, I'm not sure about Wednesday night, depending upon how late I'm with them. I may be able to come on Wednesday night anyway. But what I'm going to do is I will mention it on Instagram during the day if I see that I'm going to be able to do it, and I will mention it on the Facebook page as well. So hopefully I'll be able to do that Wednesday. We can talk a little bit more, and I can read you the story at that point if we have enough interest in it and people here to hear it. And it's only part of the story, but yeah, I think I'll be happy to do that. And anything new that happens, and as I say, I'm looking into other meetup groups because I think it's a wonderful thing. I found that I really liked a lot of these people. Oh, okay, yeah, if you can't make it, you can always see it afterwards, Valley. And yeah, I'm really wanting to bring more information about all this stuff to you because it might be things that are available to a lot of you as well. And I think it's really good and really healthy to get involved because when you join these groups, you join groups that you have common interest with. So you start with something positive. One of the women who was sitting at my table happens to live in the next town to me, and we seem to get along really well, and I'm looking forward to seeing her next time. And I spoke to a few of the other people there, and I gather that they have a real camaraderie with each other already because they've been in the group together for a while, and they really appreciate each other as the own individual writers that they are, and it was lovely. It was a lovely experience, and I look forward to more of them. So I'll take you on the journey with me. On that note, as I say, I will try to see you on. I'll be there on Wednesday, one way or the other, either on the afternoon thing or at night or both. So take care, everybody. Have a good night, and I will see you soon. Good night.